How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI. I'm excited to do this video. Yes, the stock did have a pullback. It did break the technical pattern in regards to forming higher lows. But what's happening? We are getting close to that price area where I like to buy under 11. So I'm going to do an update for you guys. Let's not waste any more time. So let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $11.04, being down 1.25%. On the low, it tested $11.02, and then on the high, testing $11.31. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 2.918 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 2.867 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but we did see a pullback inside of the stock. No surprise considering the market conditions. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 42.06. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 100-day. So you could see from prior, when I was talking about in previous videos, we were making higher lows. So technically, we were looking strong. And now we are in a bearish trend. But again, you could hear from the tone of my voice, I'm excited about this. And part of the reasons being is, you guys know I love to add to my position when it is under $11. And it looks like we're going to be getting that opportunity going into tomorrow or anytime this week. So one of the things that we need to see when that does occur, yes, is to see how far it can pull back. I'm looking for it to actually get around $10.80. Again, most ideal scenario. As far as if you're going to be looking for a reversal now, so if you want it to start looking bullish again, then it's easily going to have to come back here to around $11.50, where it's right around the 21-day EMA, where I think it's at around $11.48. And then from there, of course, you'd want to see that momentum continue until we hit this resistance area, as you can see from this big red candle, which we had on January the 13th, which is right around $11.95. And with volume coming into the stock, we should be able to push past the 50-day as well. And then that's where we have the upside potential coming in, as opposed to where I want to see this stock getting to at least $13 before the business combination. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for GGPI. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we can see here, we'll take a look at January the 18th because we already covered the dates prior. We see Clear Street Markets LLC that purchased 15,000 shares. We also have Sellway Asset Management that purchased 343,200 shares. And we also have Clear Street Markets LLC that purchased a put now of a value of the shares of 44,400. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 28.30%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is at 292,393 shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 800,000, updated 7 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.33%. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 14th, it was at 31.56, and then for the close of the 18th, which was yesterday, today, it is at 28.30. So it did go down, but one thing that is still remains clear, it does have short squeeze potential because the criteria that we normally look for is 21% or higher, and it's at 28.30. So there will be volatility in the stock. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for GGPI. So we see on the inflow it's at 5,082, and then on the outflow it's at 6,518. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, it was 0 on the large. On the medium, it was 3,921. On the small, it was 1,162. Taking a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 5,050. And then on the small, it was 1,468. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for January the 19th, it was 0. It was also 0 for the 18th, and we did cover the inflow days on the 13th and the 14th in my previous videos. Now, when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. When we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, for the large, which tends to represent institutions, whales, and funds, it was 0. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.93%. So this is not too bad. It's still staying in a consistent range. And what we know is shareholders, they are continuing to hold on to their positions. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for GGPI in regards to the price action, I am loving it. If we can get this stock back into the $10 range, I'm going to add more. Most preferably, I want to see this stock touch around $10.80 or $10.90. That is the range that I'm looking for. Again, it doesn't have to happen. As long as we get below 11, I'm going to add a little bit more, but most preferably, just give me that 1080. I want that discount. Aside from that, one thing that we could see from the order flow distribution, there was a good amount of selling on the retail side. No surprise considering how volatile it was inside of the markets. And then when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, yes, we do have institutions who have loaded up on shares, and it does continue to have short squeeze potential. But one thing that is good, it is around 28% in regards to the short volume. So what this tells us, remember, it used to be a lot higher. As far as for the overall market sentiment, it's becoming a lot more positive, and this is exactly what you want. I'm still going to be sticking to my price target of this stock getting to at least $13 before the business combination. It could go up further, but you guys know I'm very conservative when it comes to my estimate. So if you're thinking about jumping into this play, continue to do your homework and as well as your due diligence. But I know for myself, I love it a lot. I love the risk to reward ratio since it is the SPAC and the floor price is at $10. So that's why I'm saying I love this play. You guys can tell from the expression on my face. But anyways, let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.